Hello, this is Ruth with the Happiness Project, and I'm here to talk today about what is it with feelings and therapy. I think one thing that people don't want to do is to feel their feelings. And of course, if you go to therapy, we're going to ask you to have all these feelings and try to make you cry and feel, really pretty good about ourselves if we can make you cry, right? Well, not exactly. And I think the thing with feelings is a big reason why some people avoid it, and even why men may avoid it more than women. So, is it true that as a therapist, I'm going to want to make you cry, or at least that it's going to happen, and it's going to be all about feeling your feelings and all this stuff? Um, well, there is some truth to that. But what's the deal? What's the purpose? Why do we do that? And can you really make things better by crying about them? So, to talk about that, I just want to mention a few things. One, it's not crying to cry or feeling to feel. I mean, clearly, if the more you cried, the healthier you were, then depressed people would be doing awesome, right? They'd be killing it in life. But that's not the deal. So, what's the difference? What's the problem? Why do you have to feel your feelings in therapy? Well, when people struggle to handle their feelings, there's two different ways that they tend to go. There's something called the window of tolerance. If you want to look up a Google image and use that, you can. But if you go outside of your window of tolerance, that's the window where like this is the amount of feeling I can handle, and if I go beyond that, then I'm going to have a reaction. I can't handle my feelings anymore. So two things happen. People can either become hyper aroused. It's too much arousal. And so they freak out, they're inconsolable, but they're screaming, they're crying, they're yelling, and all that. Okay, so they're feeling lots of feelings, but it's not getting them anywhere. Their thinking brain is offline. It's, I've headed to here, they're offline, nothing's happening logically. They're not going to get anywhere without this. There's not going to be a healthy resolution. They're not handling it in a way that's going to be good for them. Whereas other people will just check out. And so then you've got, well, he's like a robot, sorry for the gender stereotype. She's like a robot. Or they don't seem to have any feelings at all, or there's just no reaction. Well, some people will shut down, or actually, in some cases, it looks like they'll just laugh it off, and and you try to ask about it, and nothing will seem to affect them. People will shut down. That's hypoarousal. That's less arousal. They'll actually. It kind of reminds me of the fainting goat. Like, I'm scared. Right? Let me not feel anything. Let me numb out. So if you are at home crying and doing a whole bunch of stuff and you're hyper aroused and all you can do is feel feelings, that's not healthy. But if you don't feel anything, that basically you're not being able to face anything. Now, if a lot of people avoid therapy because they don't want to bring up negative stuff, I don't need to go there. I'm over it. Why deal with it? And I would agree if it's not affecting you now. If it is, then, well, you're dealing with it anyway. You're just not doing it great. So let's see if we can fix it so that it doesn't affect you anymore. We don't want we want to be over it. We want to get past it. We don't want it to ruin our lives now. And that's the whole point. So when the past, even though we want it in the past, if it's in the present anyway, that's when you go to therapy. And if you don't know how to process through an emotion within your window of tolerance, that's what a competent therapist is there to do, to help you have that happen. And if that's very scary for you, the feeling of feelings, then you're giving it a lot of power. Think about that. You're giving it a lot of power because if it was simple to talk about, if feelings weren't a big deal, you could just talk about what's happening, or you could feel them. It wouldn't be, you'd be fine. Like, oh yeah, I feel a little sad about that. That's fine. But the fact that you can't talk about something or can't face certain things, that means that they have power over you. And sometimes it takes a little extra help to make that not the case anymore. So if you want to get the past into the past where it belongs, not in the present, then you know, a good therapist can help you with that. So that's my little bit on feelings in therapy. If you have comments, or if you have other questions that you would generally like to hear a therapist talk about, then feel free to put that below, because I plan on doing a series of these. So thanks for watching, and talk to you guys later.